Well, in the beginning, essentially, like, when the club was actually formed, we weren't really the executive board team. It was just run by a president and a vice president. And at the time, they were seniors, and they were, like, all the way, they were ready to head out the door. And it was hard to get anything done, really. All we were able to do is start becoming a petitioning club, but that was kind of towards the end of the year. So that was essentially the struggle in the beginning. It wasn't like we could have anything, have any shows or anything like that. And plus, at the time, the club in itself, it was so small and not a lot of people knew about it. It was maybe like
9 of us.
Yeah,
like
it
per
was
meeting.
really tiny. And like, it was cool though, because in the sense that it was close, that we knew everyone, and it was a small group, and we all like talked about music and stuff like that. But at the same time, as far as like what our mission was to establish a music scene on campus, it wasn't possible then. But then after the two founders, seniors, had left, we had like elections, and that's when Lily and I started becoming like the executive board, and then we started establishing a more solidified part of the club.
Another big issue too was like when you start off, like there's no like money. So like when you're not a school club, there's no like school funding. And at the time, there wasn't really any fundraising like we could really do. So that was another struggle, especially in the beginning. And even last year, because that was our first year really like being like a real club, was just like getting credibility and being able to do things without really a huge amount of funds. So that was really tough too.
Yeah, it's really tough in terms of the finances, because like we have a lot of kids that they want to see like such and such artist, and it's not even like an artist that's local. It could be an artist that's like has maybe like 20,000 followers on Instagram or something, and like unfortunately we can't make it possible like right then and there, because we just don't have the money, especially because like we're a club that just started, so it's kind of like we have to work our way up.
Yeah. Being in the music industry program, we know a lot of people who have kind of similar interests to us, and the music industry program, as well as the clubs, has really expanded over the years. So we just it was like word of mouth really, because last year when we started our first meeting, we had about like, I want to say like 50 or 60 kids. And it was a lot of just promoting. We made social media. We started sharing about the social media. We told like everyone we knew. So it was kind of just kids who had the same like feeling as us, where it's like we came here and there was like not really like anything for like kids who like to go to shows and stuff. We also did like the organization fairs, which really help a lot, because like you meet tons of freshmen. So
that was like the big takeaway, was our first organization fair. And like that's when we started to notice that like a lot of people were interested, and like we like racked up on like interest list names, and like that was insane.
Emails help a lot, and we also had like a little speaker, so people would be like, I like that song. We'd be like, you do? Come out. Like So just word of mouth.
I would say so.
We usually have the same average amount of kids, if not like an increasing amount of kids, come out to the shows, because they tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, and then people from just not Rowan start coming out. So I definitely say our target audience is, again, like kids who like music or love going to shows, or just love like an atmosphere with people that also love music or play instruments, just a passion for anything in that realm.
Yeah, a lot of the kids are like local, like they like to go to local shows at home, so like the fact that we're able to deliver that currently for them, like that has become like a good majority of our audience, and like a lot of them are regulars.
I mean, that's always a concern, just because like you got to keep up with the people, and you have to kind of you can't just do your own thing, and you want to listen to everyone else so that they're inclined to follow you. And like if they like a band, we always try to like bring in bands that they like we have like a form that kids can fill out like on ProfLink, where like if you know a band, or you're in a band, or you just like this band and you have no affiliation with them, you can put them on a list for us, and we can try and like book those bands for you, so that there's like more interaction within the club. Because like in the beginning it was about getting people to know who we are, but now that it's like people know who we are, it's like we want them to stay with us and like have a reason why they should,
We pretty much, so with our executive board, it's not like one person has like a say over the other. we pretty much all come to like some sort of conclusion about like who we want. So we'll all go through like our prof link and like go through like the bands and be like, okay, like this band like kind of fits the vibe of the show and like this band fits the vibe. As far as like picking out the venue in itself, we all try to just like figure out essentially like, well, first of all, we ask our members to be like, hey, like if you know someone that would like to have a show happening at their house, you could just please let us know. Just because it's actually been like a really tough thing to find houses that are willing to host shows in their basements. It's just, you know, obviously that's like a big thing, and like with us, you know, we don't have a venue, so it's kind of like we do rely on that. So thankfully though, we have found like a couple kids that have, you know, reached out to us and they're like, hey, like my roommates really want to host shows at our, you know, house, like how can we get involved? So basically that's really how we go about that process.
We're also hoping like in the future to be able to have more stuff on campus once we like are able to fund ourselves more to do that, because that was essentially like when we started, the goal was to have things like on our campus sort of similar to the way like TCNJ's like Cub has shows all the time and like books artists, but again it's kind of just more about like being able to fund ourselves to do that, and having the following to make sure that those bigger areas are filled when we have them. So that's like essentially the goal in a couple of years, is to at least be doing more of that. Usually we try to do that like once or twice a semester, but for the majority right now we do house shows because they're just a little bit easier at the moment.